Well, thank you for joining us today as we introduce our acting head coach, Jake Dickert. Joining Jake on the panel is WSU Director of Athletics, Pat Chun, and WSU President Kirk Schultz, along with Jake. We will take opening statements from each, followed by questions for Jake Dickert. We will start it off with Director of Athletics, Pat Chun.
Thank you, Bill. A friend sent me this quote this morning, and it really resonated with me for the day is, we do not choose the time, but the time chooses us. And for everyone associated with this 2021 football program going forward, the time has chosen us. We need to make the most of the time that we've been given. I know we already had a practice today, but we are going forward, and that process has already begun. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Jason Severko, Brian Smith, Kyle Krantz, Andre Allen, Mark Banker, AJ Cooper, Dwayne Bradshaw, all the remaining staff, all their spouses, all their kids for going forward with Washington State football. This is not going to be easy. They all know the sacrifices that these coaches are going to make these next couple of weeks willingly. They care more about these young men probably than this team even knows. But whatever we can do collectively to allow them to achieve their goals, this group of coaches and this entire staff is going to put in the work necessary to get them in the best position to hopefully achieve those goals. I also want to thank Coach Dickert for his willingness to step into this role. This is not easy as well, but he knows exactly what's at stake for this football program. It's obvious, it's been indicative to all of us, or it's obvious to all of us in his short time here, and the whole staff. I mean, this is a group of coaches that loves their team. It's a team that loves their coaches. As we started contingency planning, it was pretty evident really quickly that the best course of action would be to put Coach Dickert into this acting coaching role. So, Jake, I appreciate your work with this. You have our full support as we go forward, and I will pass it to Bill, or pass it to the president. Sorry, and I'll introduce our president, Kirk Schultz. Yep.
Well, good afternoon, Cougs, and thank everybody for joining us today. I continue to be excited about the future of our football program. I'm excited about the young men that are on our football team, the coaches and their families, this whole athletic department, whole university. Certainly the last 24 hours have been challenging for many associated with WSU. I've received lots of emails about our transition, whether people like it or don't like it. But today I'm asking everybody to rally around the student athletes, rally around our football team. And if you saw any of the messages that have come from our players just over the last little bit, they've all had the same unifying theme at the end. We want your support. We want people in the stadium. We want people cheering us on. And I think that's really important. I've had a chance throughout my career to, be part of a transition team many times. And I've had the opportunity to bring people on board, whether it's new coaches, whether it's people coming into my cabinet. And every now and then we run across a person that you sort of feel has been just preparing for this chance, for this opportunity in their career. And that's what we have with Coach Dickert. He was very successful as a defensive coordinator at the University of Wyoming, another great land-grant university, also in an area that has some geographic challenges. He's done a fantastic job with our defense here at WSU, and I know he's prepared to step into this particular spot. And I just want to express my appreciation for him getting that phone call, stepping into this particular role and taking that leadership position that we so much need. And then finally, I want to express my appreciation to our student athletes. They have gone through quite a bit. They're resilient. They're hardworking. They see their goals ahead of them. And I know that Coach Dickert is going to help us get there. So with that, it's my pleasure, absolute pleasure to welcome Coach Dickert to this leadership position. And I look forward to watching our student athletes do great things.
Well, first, I just want to express that I'm extremely humbled and I'm extremely honored to sit in front of you today. I want to thank Washington State University. I want to thank President Schultz. I want to thank Pat Chun and our athletic administration for the trust in me to lead our program really through unprecedented times. Okay, and the biggest thing, I think this is a great day for perspective. I hope everyone can take a step back and look at the big picture and focus on the people that are greatly changed by yesterday, and that's our student athletes. I had an amazing conversation this morning with Jihad Woods, and we're talking about his 6 years here, how he has had the highest of highs. They finished as a top 10 team. He had game day on campus where we beat the Ducks, a day the Palouse will never forget. And then we had wins like last Saturday against Stanford. And although he didn't play as a captain, he had one of the biggest celebrations and was engaged in the game that I've ever seen. But he also talked about some of the hardships. He's seen 2 teammates pass, and he's had to deal with COVID, on again season, off again season, being removed from the bus at Stanford before a game, being removed from Cal in pregame, and then also losing half of a staff in the middle of a season. So I'm a firm believer that adversity is life's greatest teacher. And that's what I praise to our guys and I preach to our guys. And I think this is going to be another challenge for our guys to continue to learn and grow. But just out there, Washington State faithful, I know sometimes people are mad, but if you're mad, I hope you're so mad you're willing to help and support our players. Okay. And if you think today is a day for celebration, I hope you're willing to show up on Saturday and celebrate for our guys. And let's come together because I believe they deserve this. I've been in the foxhole with them for the last 22 months through all this, personal conversations. And I hope I can stand on the foundation that I have built just with the support of our players through these unprecedented times. And I'm a firm believer, my number one job today and going forward is that our young people have fear, doubt, and uncertainty in their minds. Okay. And my job is to replace that with faith, trust, and belief. I think those 3 words are the cornerstones of any program, any real culture. And I'm a firm believer that our guys love the game. They love each other. Okay. They play for each other. The biggest thing that I want to instill is I need them to have faith in me. Okay. And I know there's a group of men in that locker room that are used to hearing my voice. But half of the team, still needs to have faith and belief that I have their best interest in mind. And I need to prove that to them and show that to them every day. The second thing is trust. Trust is earned through daily actions. Okay. And I think trust is the foundation of any real relationship our young men will ever have in their lives. And I need to continue to show them that I'm here for them. Every move that we make going forward is with their best interest in mind. So if we can put faith and trust together, I think there's going to be a belief, and there is a belief in this team. Okay. And I believe if you believe in young men and you believe in people, they will do amazing things. Okay. Whatever you put in their minds, they will continue to learn and grow and believe in themselves and give this team everything that they have. This is a special group of men. I feel for what they're going through. I'm going to be here for what they're going through. And the only thing I promised is that I'm going to be honest with them every day. There's only one person I know how to be, and that's Jake Dickert. Fortunately, has allowed me to be in this position, and that's what I promise him every day. So if we can stick to those 3 cornerstones, faith, trust, and belief, I believe there's something special here in this football program that we can continue to finish with all of our goals still ahead of us, taking it one moment at a time, one practice at a time, and hopefully one game at a time. And we can see and get ourselves to the place that we all want to be. With that, I'll kind of open it up to any questions.
Thank you, Jake. At this time, we will take questions from those online. Please use the raise hand button to ask your question, and then I will allow you. Our first question comes from Jamie Vinnick of Coug Fan. Jamie, direct your question to Coach Dickert.
Coach, how are you?
Good, Jamie. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. So obviously there was, a lot of change in your staff, not just at the head coaching spot. Are you able to kind of run through your assistant coaching positions now with so much change in that?
We're not there yet, Jamie. We're very, very close. We got a couple people going through, some processes, and we're still vetting a couple guys, as well as some people that I think have earned a lot of trust and belief through their actions within our program. So I think hopefully by the end of the week and before game day, we'll have the ability to label who all those people are, but there's no doubt that our players will find out first. And, just excited about the type of men that are willing to come into this situation. And what I guaranteed our players is that they're not here to replace their coach. Okay, you can't do that. Okay, but these men are willing to put players first and are going to come in and help them. And this is a tough position for anyone to walk into, and even the most veteran of coaches. So that's my guarantee to our players, and that's going to be at the forefront of everyone that we bring in here to our staff.
Well, will you be continuing your duties as defensive coordinator still, or will you just be the interim head coach?
I think our players and the unit and what we have created, I think those guys deserve my best. And I will continue to serve as a defensive coordinator. We will continue to shuffle around some responsibilities. I have the utmost respect for Coach Mark Banker. He's seen, really everything that there is to see in this game. I've been with AJ Cooper a very long time, so I'm going to divvy a lot of responsibilities of daily actions onto those guys. They're prepared and ready. And, but on Saturdays, I plan to call the defense.
Our next question is from Nick Geranius of the Associated Press.
Hello. Coach, can you talk about the couple of biggest challenges of the quick turnaround looking at BYU on Saturday? What are a couple of things that stand out in your mind that must get done?
Well, first off, I think there's got to be a viewpoint that our young men are hurting and that I'm going to be here for them, and our coaching staff, the people that Pat mentioned, are here for them. And, we will continue to do that as the week goes on. But they also have built such a great rapport between one another. I told them last night, you don't know what the man next to you is going through until you ask. And that's what great teammates do. That's what great leaders do. And I think we do have a good core of great leadership on this team. And I'm going to tap into that. I want to use that because there is a special bond that's been built here and everything that we've been through over the last, 2 years. So, to your question, I think that's going to be our first challenge. We already had an opportunity to get out on the field this morning. I'm excited to start and take steps, into the process of moving forward. As a coaching standpoint, an X's and O's standpoint, we're going to give our guys an opportunity to do what they do best. Offensively, I believe we're one of the most explosive offenses out there, and they're playing with great confidence. And defensively, I think our staple is playing hard, playing fast, and playing together. And I think those would be the principles that we'll rely on come Saturday.
Our next question comes from Jessamine McIntyre of KCPQ in Seattle.
There we go. Hi, Coach. Sorry that we're talking under these circumstances, but congratulations in the role that you're in right now.
Thank you.
We knew that this was a possibility going forward, and unfortunately, October 18th was hanging over everyone's head for quite a while. So knowing that was a possibility, did Coach Rolovich deliver a message? And I'm not asking you to betray the confidence of the locker room and give us any inside details, but can you provide any insight on the message that he might have delivered before he had to depart?
Well, I think it's very important for everyone to understand. First off, Nick Rolovich gave me an opportunity to come here that I'll always be thankful for. He had faith in me. He had belief in me. And he's given me everything since I've been here to be successful. And the leeway to do that is very special to me. We had a brief conversation. I think the biggest thing is we always, when we get into these situations, it's hard and it's challenging, but I think Coach wants our guys to move on. And that was a brief conversation that we had. We've always respected Coach. We've always respected his decision. This day has come, and I truly believe in my heart Coach wants us to continue to move on and build on the foundation because, I think it's important and the players are important, and we'll show that going forward.
And how has the team's response been since everything's settled in?
Well, I don't believe it's settled in. I think it's shocking news. If they were anything like me, I had like triple shot of coffee this morning, just not a lot of sleep. But we came out there, and my message to them at the end is, I just really hope when you put that helmet on and we practice for our 2 hours and we're in Martin Stadium, they truly remember why they love this game and why they love each other and why they're all here and the opportunity that is afforded to them going forward that they have built, not me. They have built this opportunity of what we can still do and accomplish this season. So I want to give them leeway. I want to give them space. I want to give them time. But every day is a step closer to a new normal, a new reality, and ultimately still working towards and sprinting towards our goals.
Thank you very much.
Our next question comes from Eric Long of the Daily Evergreen.
Hey, Coach. With Rolo and Stutz gone now, I was wondering if there's going to be any changes to the offensive game plan and just like the whole scheme.
Absolutely not. I think what our guys do, they do it extremely well, and I think it's really tough. Trust me, I've been on the other side trying to stop this in spring ball and fall camp, and our guys are confident in what we do. They're excited about what we do, and it fits our guys really, really well. So, I don't anticipate any changes on the offensive side of how we do things schematically.
And then, like someone else said, this is something that we've been kind of expecting to happen for a little bit. Had Rolovich kind of taken you under his wing as kind of the guy that he wanted to be the head coach in the past few weeks?
Like I said, I'm really amazed by what Coach has done for me in my life. I'm really appreciative for it. I wouldn't say that's the case. I think Coach always believed that he was going to be here, and we kind of just professionally went about our jobs and did the role that I was here to do, and that was to be the defensive coordinator of Washington State football. And that was the role I kept attacking every day. And that's all I knew, until the situation changed. I just took it one day at a time. And I was just really impressed with, through all the noise, our young people stayed focused. And it's just a microcosm of the culture that we have and the players that we have and the people that they are, that they're willing to put all the noise aside and just keep coming to practice and keep working for each other.
Our next question is from Dennis Patchen, KHQ TV in Spokane.
Jake, is your job, this weekend maybe more mental than physical in getting your team ready for this game?
Well, I think there's no question. There's a unique blend of each, and the things I talked about, the faith, trust, and belief, we got to establish that in quick order and get these guys believing and feeling like themselves again. And I believe we can do that. I believe when you go into situations like this, let's not try to be cute. Let's do what these guys know. Let's do what they understand. Let's let them play fast. They've been blessed with a lot of God-given ability. And, I think our guys can go out there and play fast if we ask them to do the things that we've been doing. It's been from spring ball to a great summer work training to a great fall camp to seeing these results now, I think are really special. So, we're going to stick to the plan and we're going to do what we do and try to do it better than BYU does it.
Jake, just one follow-up question. Is there a sense of relief among the coaches that are still left that this is over and you can now move on and put that on the back burner?
Relief wouldn't be something that comes to my mind. No. We're all in the foxhole together, and I think we're united together. I want to give a shout out to Brian Smith. He's been put in a tough position, and I think he's had a clear vision moving forward. He's had a clear plan going forward, and I really respect him because he lost people that he really cares about too. So I think he's put all that aside, and he's really had a clear vision for our players and what the plan is. So relief, I don't think that's an emotion that has come to my mind. But I know we're going to be all this in together because, the first thing these guys said was, let's do this for the players. Okay. I think in coaching, and understand a lot of things can happen. And I think we accept those roles, to Pat's point, I think our families accept those roles, even though yesterday was a hard day. So relief, no, but just professionalism and just wanting to do it for the guys. And we're willing to do anything possible for this team.
Next question comes from Colton Clark of the Spokesman Review.
Jake, you may have touched on this a little bit, but, I wanted to know how much input. I know you played quarterback and receiver back in your day.
Man. Yeah.
how much input do you expect to have or want to have in the offense? And then just kind of on that, how much does this make you have to kind of change your approach to daily practice, or is it too early to touch on that yet?
Well, there's a lot of things, I'm discovering a little bit as we keep going. The offensive philosophy is going to stay the same. I know and understand it. I think there'll be a clear vision going into the game between me and Brian on, his plan, how we're going to attack it, what our thoughts are in a lot of situations. And my hope is that, I get enough time to help. I think there's certain situations in the red zone that I can look at from my point of view or someone else's, as a defensive coordinator. Hey, these are what people are doing to us. Here's how we can help so we can continue to finish drives, which has been tremendously better, over the last few weeks. So there's just little places where I think I want to, poke and look at, and just from my seat and my perspective, try to find a way to help in any way that I can.
And you've talked a little bit about, practice and the conversations with the team, but I'm just wondering how was practice today? What was kind of the vibe? Did it have a weird feel to it?
I definitely wouldn't say weird. I mean, I think it had a workmanship feel to it. Our guys are hurting. I think a lot of guys were out there on very little sleep, and they just kept grinding. And I think as the day kept going, more and more energy kept coming to life. And like I say, when you put on that helmet, you love this game and you're willing to do a lot of things. And, our guys are hurting, but I think they're willing to give each other everything they have. And like I said, every day is a step towards a new normal and a new belief and a new feeling of where we want to go together, and I told this to the guys, you never know what the man next to you is going through until you ask, so I hope they can continue to be there for each other and to push each other and to say, hey, man, let's run to the ball together. Hey, let's celebrate a little bit together. Hey, this game still is fun. It's still our guys. We still have a lot to accomplish together. And I think that's the mindset that they're trying to approach this with.
Next question is from Brenna Green of Creme TV.
Sorry, took a second for the unmute to come up there. When you addressed the team last night and this morning, just what was your message to them?
That I'm here for them, that I feel them, that I understand them. There's a lot of pain and hurt, that has been caused from these guys. And, I want them to know that, we're here all the time. We're in it with them, and, as the message continues to grow, I just laid out some things that they can expect from me, and some things that I need from them. And, we're going to continue to move forward. And then, like I said, at the end of practice, it was cool because we had a, big picture on the scoreboard, and it was our guys celebrating together. I just told them these are moments nobody can take away from you. Okay. And we have the ability together to create new moments, right? And new feelings, right? And the excitement that you've had in these pictures, that can still continue. And I think, you start to look at it and they start believing, but this is a player's game, and those guys will continue to grow as players and people. And I'm just excited to have an opportunity to touch each one of our guys on the team.
A lot of people, quote tweeted your tweet from back in the spring last night of you getting vaccinated. Just did you have any idea at the time that would kind of become a rallying point?
No, I mean, what I did in the spring is, that was a long time ago. And I believe I was at the forefront of wanting to get a vaccination. That was my personal choice. And at the time it was a rallying cry, to try to get all of our fans, because we didn't know if there was going to be fans in the stadium, so I was trying to be supportive and use my voice and my outreach, because I knew I was trying to do something for the players. They deserve to have people, and the cheers and these roars that we've heard the last couple of Saturdays have been unbelievable. And I was trying to do everything in my power to do that for the guys.
Next question comes from Daryl Prose of Wazoo Nation.
Yeah, hi, Coach. Kind of a follow-up to that last train. Do you personally feel safer in the locker room now?
I truly believe that we've done everything here at Washington State to follow every protocol and provide an element of safety for all of our players and coaches. So I feel as safe today as I did 2 days ago. And then that's an honest and a truth belief. And, anyone that wasn't, I believe our coaches and our staff followed every protocol that was in place for them. And so I feel as safe today as I did before.
Another question too. AD Chun has said that in looking for his head coach at the beginning, that he wanted someone to retire from WSU. Do you own a home in Pullman?
I do. One with a trampoline in the backyard, and one that I get to have fun with my boys and in the backyard playing football. And my family night is Thursday night where we get to go home. We have family dinner, and I take the boys out and we play football. They're 5 and 7, and they're getting tougher. I want to make sure. My dad never let me win growing up ever. So I'm getting a little softer. I let them win every once in a while, but I do. I own a home in Pullman. My wife Candace and I have been married for 10 years. We have 3 kids. Riley's 10. Jet's 7, and Jace is 5. And I wouldn't be here today without their love and support. We've at one point in our career, we moved 8 times in 9 years doing this coaching journey. And, they've always been here for me. And, there was a hard day for them too yesterday. I had to explain to my daughter, what happened to some of her friends and why. And then those are hard conversations. And, so I'm trying to be coach, dad, and everything in between right now. And just excited to be here in Pullman because this is how I grew up. Small towns is what I know. Great people is what I know. I know when the RVs come to town, it takes me 10 minutes to get to work, and that's a lot of traffic for me. That's a lot of time to get to work. So I love Pullman. It fits me. It fits our family, and we're blessed to be here.
Next question will come from Theo Lawson of the Spokesman Review.
Hey, Jake, have you reached out to Craig Bowl, you've worked with in your career, to gather input or advice on how to handle this situation, or will you reach out to them in the coming days when you have time to?
Yeah, I think Coach Bowl is probably my greatest mentor in this game, and probably the man that has shaped me the most. I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you today if it wasn't for Craig Bowl, and that is a fact. We'd always joke around that I was a mini Craig Bowl. He's like, Jake, you remind me of myself. You're just always in a hurry. You're disciplined. You work hard. But I think there'll be the right time when I reach out to Coach. I think leaving a place like Wyoming and leaving Coach that has given me so much personally and professionally was hard. And I think we mended a lot of those fences this summer. And I'll be reaching out to him hopefully for advice. And I know it'll come from the heart, and it'll be a lot of truth. And I know it'll be some wisdom that'll really, really help me.
I know you probably can't tell us who you're looking at to replace some of the assistants, but can you say if you're looking at people within the current staff, or primarily looking outside of the staff, or maybe kind of a mix of both internal and external candidates? Yeah, there'll be a combination of both. And I think the emphasis will be how we're going to handle some positions offensively. Because I think that took the biggest blow yesterday. And like I said, Brian Smith has done an amazing job with his vision. But there are some guys on staff that I think deserve an opportunity and know our young men, and they trust them. And I think that's very, very important. So, going forward, I feel very confident in the men that we can put around our players. And like I said before, they're here to help.
We have time for 2 more questions. The first will be Jamie Vinnick of Coug Fan.
Coach, just to follow up to one of my earlier questions, you said you'll continue to be the defensive coordinator. Will you continue to handle the linebackers as well, or is that something you might delegate to someone else?
I think we have a very mature group of linebackers. And one of the biggest things I did is sit down with them yesterday and say, hey, things might look a little bit different daily, but I'm still here for you, And, Jesse Bobbitt has been with me. I actually coached him at South Dakota State. He's our graduate assistant. He'll continue to help me in that role. But we'll continue to delegate some, but they need to hear my voice. They need to feel me. They need to see me. There's a trust that's built in that room. I think there's a lot of stuff on game day that'll probably be the biggest difference to them. In between series, I won't have quite the same opportunities to sit there and adjust with them and answer all those questions. And we'll divvy out those responsibilities as those days get closer. But that's probably the biggest time that our guys will feel, my presence in this new position.
And our final question from Brenna Green of Creme TV.
Jake, just when did this subject matter get broached with you about potentially being interim head coach?
Well, I think we set some contingency plans, not knowing what was going to happen, and it kind of started like, what would we do on defense? What was kind of the plan? What was the vision? And I know there was always a vision from our administration on, we need to have a contingency plan on what we needed to do. And, I was out heading to a walkthrough tomorrow or yesterday at 5:00, before our meeting. We're still coaching our guys, getting ready to prepare, when I received a call from Pat. That's when the news was official, and he asked me to take over the leadership of the program. So that was kind of the steps in the process leading up to it.
Okay, that's all the time we have for today. Jake, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us.